Hi, Capricorn. Welcome to Bratty's Tarot. So I'm going to be taking a look at what's going on currently or what may be happening within the next couple of weeks. Keep in mind that these are general readings, so I could be picking up on somebody else's energy that you're directly linked to, i.e. a best friend, a lover, a boss, what have you. So make sure that you're checking for your sun, moon, rising, Venus, and Jupiter sign for a full picture. I did do a meditation for you guys, and I'm just going to go ahead and tell you what I wrote down. Okay, it was kind of a lot. So I had this meditation that I did, and I saw the top of a mountain, and there was something coming from the sky, and it was dripping water, what kind of felt like tears on top of the mountain. And the further that these tears or the rain would trickle down the mountain, the more frozen that the raindrops would get. And then when I looked harder, when I followed the raindrops cascading down the mountaintop, I actually saw it wasn't actually a mountain. It was an iceberg in the middle of an ocean. And so then I got a flash to you, and you were sitting on this couch, and you were cozy, and you were warm, and you were sitting in front of this fireplace, and you were watching the mountain or the iceberg. You were watching you were watching the whole thing, but it was almost as if it was a holograph, or it was like some kind of 3D illusion or mirage of some sort. And you saw it through the fire, and it wasn't real, but it was. And then you tried to reach in and stick your hand in to grab it or to be a part of it, and you got burnt in the process. So I looked up the symbolism of these things. So a mountain can talk about transcendence, spiritual evolution, closest to God. The iceberg or an iceberg can talk about unresolved emotions, concerns of an unconscious nature, strong influences and things that are unresolved that you've kept inside of your mind or your heart. And I'm kind of wondering if it's more so the heart space. And I say that because I saw water, right? Even though it was freezing, but like the ocean was still water. So water in tarot, water in astrology can represent our emotions, what we're feeling, how we respond to things from an emotional standpoint, etc. So I feel like it's more emotional, but it almost feels like that there's a hindrance there, or there's something that you've suppressed, or there's something that you've tried to ice out inside of you, so that way you didn't have to look at it while you were sitting warmly by this fire that you ended up getting burnt from anyway. And so then fire, or an actual fireplace, can talk about feeling lonely, needing support. And the spiritual term can talk about fireplaces used to be used to keep evil demons and spirits out, because they used to say that the fireplace was the place that demons and evil spirits could kind of come through. Okay, so they used to light fires to keep it out. So maybe that's symbolic for you, I'm not sure. And getting burnt can obviously talk about like getting hurt, failures, a need for caution, or feeling some form of pain. And so I kind of wrote some things down. I feel like people see one thing about you, but there's something far deeper. And I feel like that's why at first I thought it was a mountain. And then I saw how deep the iceberg goes, or that it was an iceberg at all. And it was surrounded by a huge ocean, huge body of water. I feel like traumas, emotions, etc., go far deeper than meets the eye as well. But I wonder if the ice, like I said, represents you trying to ice it out or numb yourself to something. I feel like there's somebody that cares about you. Okay. And I feel like that's why I saw a figure in the sky that was like crying on the mountaintop, but the tears were iced out, almost as if like maybe you didn't care, or whoever it is that I'm talking about maybe didn't care, act like they didn't, or something like that, even though maybe there's somebody else that cares more about you than maybe you care about yourself. Okay. Like I said, reverse this if you need to. Okay. You could be the person in the sky, or you could be the person sitting on the couch by the fireplace. I don't really know. Like I said, you were at a different place staring at the iceberg like a holograph, etc. When you touched it, you got burnt. I feel like you're trying to pass through one thing without solving another. It's like you're trying to touch something that you've suppressed, and now it's too far gone, or it's too far deep, and that's obviously not true. We can access any parts of ourselves whenever we'd like, whether it's our shadow self, our higher self, etc., whether that's through meditation or some deep healing work, a freaking walk in nature, even sometimes, you know. But it felt like it was emotions that this person couldn't reach, or had suppressed for so long they forgot it was there, or became out of touch with it. But I feel like there's a solution there. but I feel like the solution is through the fire, even if it hurts. So that's kind of what I got with that. So let's see what the cards say. Whether it relates to the reading or not, I don't know, but that's what I saw in my meditation. So let's go ahead and move on. So you got the 5 of Cups in reverse. So this talks about letting go of negative emotion of the past, etc., things that have harmed you. 3 of Wands in reverse. This can talk about a lack of expansion, keeping yourself small, maybe staying in one place, maybe wanting to travel and not being able to, a sense of frustration. 9 of Pentacles in reverse, not feeling good enough for something, feeling like you need to overcompensate or act one way when you actually feel another. The Emperor. This is about taking your power back, or this is about kind of detaching, maybe icing out from whatever these feelings are. Okay. The Emperor is very detached in his emotions because he's like, I have other shit to do, right? The Empress in reverse. Wow, that's really interesting. There's a feminine energy here and a masculine. Okay, now of course this could just be your divine femininity and your divine masculinity. Now this is interesting because the Empress, you know, yes, she is Taurus and Libra, okay, which is earth and air, but femininity is all about emotion, and it's all about receiving, and it's allowing yourself to be vulnerable, but it's in reverse. And then we have the Emperor, which is more like, hey, I got shit to do, right? Like sit by a fireplace and not cry. Okay. But it's more of a detached energy, and it's the masculine. So there's something that is maybe more evolved about your masculine nature, but maybe not so much your feminine nature. And then we have the King of Pentacles in the upright. There you are. There's that masculine energy once again. And there's nothing wrong with masculine energy necessarily. There you are again, 4 of Pentacles, Sun in Capricorn. There's nothing wrong with masculine energy, but sometimes when we get too much in our masculine energy, it's because sometimes we don't feel safe enough to be vulnerable or be in our feminine energy. So maybe that's something. I heard tip of the iceberg, okay, bottom of the iceberg. I don't know. And then we're ending with the 8 of Cups. Wow. So we're starting out with the 5 of Cups in reverse, and we have the 8 of Cups here at the end. So this is walking away from something where maybe you feel like you deserve better, right? Or doing kind of a dark night of the soul, doing some form of discovery about what it is that you want, what makes you feel good, what do you want, like at your highest level. Maybe it was your higher self in the sky, you know, crying down on your pathetic iceberg. No, I'm just joking, but let's go ahead and just see what the cards say. Tell me about that 5 of Cups in reverse. The 5 of Swords in reverse. The Queen of Pentacles. Wow. Okay. I'm going to take all of these because I love you. Wow, that was a lot. Okay. Well, let's see. Wow, it's interesting that you have the 9 of Cups in reverse here. So you got the 5 of Cups in reverse, and it's crowning the energy. You have the 5 of Swords in reverse, the Queen of Pentacles in the upright, the Sun in reverse, the 3 of Pentacles, the 2 of Cups in reverse, and the 9 of Cups in reverse. For some of you, you're just simply trying to let go of something. Because you feel like you're just never going to win. And it's something from the past. It's something that maybe doesn't make sense to you anymore, or maybe it does, but it doesn't make sense to somebody else. For some of you, you're just playing nice, or you're trying to put on some form of smile just to act like everything's fine. And for some of you, there's something that you actually are having a hard time letting go of. You feel like you're never going to win at letting go of this, although you've tried, and maybe you're in the process of doing that. But it seems like you may be forcing yourself into your work, or kind of throwing yourself into your work just a little bit, because you feel like there's something from an emotional standpoint that you really didn't get. And so it's this feeling of feeling like you're not being understood, feeling like you're not being heard, you know. Now, I like that there's a feminine energy here. So I don't know if this is you. Like I said, if this is you, this is about you kind of throwing yourself into your work a little bit. Not that there's anything wrong with that whatsoever, but I feel like it's because you feel disconnected. You feel disconnected from a person, maybe yourself, maybe your emotional self, whatever it may be. Disconnected from higher self as well can be a thing. If you are the masculine energy, that Queen of Pentacles could be somebody that you're dealing with. So it could be this thing of letting go of this feminine energy, letting go of her, letting go of playing games, feeling kind of low on yourself, not feeling your most confident. Be careful of debaucherous behavior. Be careful of going out and doing too much and drinking too much and acting a fool because you don't feel good about yourself or whatever the case is. What is that? 3 of Pentacles, the 4 of Cups. You may have tried it, whether you're the feminine or masculine, you may have tried to get on the same page with somebody, but it's like for nothing. It's just going in an empty cup. The King of Swords and the 7 of Cups, like trying to cut through the fog. You know, it's like you may feel like you don't see somebody for who they truly are. You're having a hard time doing that, or maybe you do, you know. Let's go ahead and take a look at that 3 of Wands in reverse. The 6 of Cups in reverse. You're very frustrated with some kind of negative feelings that you're having towards somebody. I feel like this is getting to the icing out process, but I feel like we're not there yet. I feel like with that 9 of Pentacles in reverse is where the icing out kind of begins, but it's false. It's like sitting by a fire and like pretending like everything's okay, you know, and it doesn't mean that it's not going to be, but it's a sense of feeling like there's no more growth happening in some kind of connection, or there's no more growth happening in some kind of childhood dream. It's like there's no expansion. I feel like it's about a person, okay, or a child. You feel like there's no growth, or there's no expansion, or there's no more exploratory energy, if you will. When it comes to a past person, it's like you're having a really hard time focusing on the positive about something. And it's like you're kind of acting like you're letting it go, or you're attempting just to get rid of it, but it's not really gone. You can still see the iceberg through the fireplace. You know what I mean? The Ace of Swords in reverse, the Hangman in reverse. It's like you don't really have any perspective, so you feel like you don't really have anything to talk about, or it's like you feel like you've seen everything that you can see in regards to this person, or in regards to the situation, in regards to this trauma, whatever it may be. And so it's like, I'm not even going to talk about it. You know, what's the point? You know, and sometimes we need to do that. Sometimes we have to take a moment for ourselves. Let's take a look at that 9 of Pentacles in reverse. The Ace of Cups in reverse. So remember when I told you, I feel like the 9 of Pentacles in reverse is the beginning of the icing out process, or the continuation of it. Well, we have Cups again, but it's in reverse. And with the 9 of Pentacles in reverse, this could be you kind of focusing more on like, I want to feel really good about myself, so I'm going to go blow a bunch of money, you know, or I want to feel really good about myself, so I'm going to buy everybody dinner even though I really don't have it, or I'm putting too much energy into something even though I really don't have it, just to make me feel like I have it again, you know. And it's coming from, didn't I say like a bottomless cup or something like that? I said something like that in the beginning, if I'm not mistaken. Ooh, the Knight of Swords in reverse and the Temperance in reverse. My goodness. It's almost like you feel like you're a coward, and or maybe you feel like somebody's a coward, but I mean this in the way where it's almost like you're just letting it happen. Like you're letting it happen, or you feel like you've done that so many times, and the way that you deal with things isn't always the healthiest. And so I feel like you're kind of beating yourself up about that. And there's no need for you to do that. I feel like you've probably been beat up enough. That's why you got an iced out iceberg representing you and your emotional self in my meditation, right? If that resonates with you, unless that's somebody else. Okay. Keep in mind, this can be reversed. But there's almost like this too much of something has triggered you to the point where you're just kind of taking something. You're just kind of like, well, this is what it is, you know? So let's go ahead and take a look at that Emperor, which is kind of like a numbing response. Like when somebody's numb, they're just kind of like, okay, well, this is what it is, you know, like just taking it. The Page of Wands. This is a masculine energy. King of Cups, 6 of Wands in reverse. This is somebody who doesn't feel appreciated, or this is somebody who may feel emotionally entitled to you if you're a feminine energy and you're into masculine, whatever. But it seems like there's some masculine energy here in the near future who's reaching out, but it seems to be in a more of a detached way. I think that they aren't giving as much as they could. Give me one more for this. Eight of Swords in reverse. And this is somebody who's currently thinking long and hard about this. They feel stuck right now, and in the near future, this is somebody who's going to actually gain the confidence to do this, but they're going to act very detached and nonchalant about it. But this is what's actually going on under the surface. The King of Cups, Six of Wands in reverse. Somebody who wants to love and be loved, but somebody who doesn't feel appreciated, or somebody whose ego or self-esteem is kind of down the drain. Okay. So let's take a look at this Empress in reverse. The Strength in reverse. The Queen of Cups in reverse, and the Lovers in reverse. Huge lack of trust. Man. I want you to be careful, especially if you're the feminine energy, because this masculine may reach out to you, whether it's a father figure, an ex-lover, a current lover, whatever the case is. It's some kind of adult masculine figure. And they're showing up as not giving as much as they could. They're showing up as a little detached, even though there's emotions under the surface, hardcore emotions under the surface. But the feminine is showing up by probably being so excitable about it, or probably feeling like they want this person so bad in their life, or they want the validation, that they're almost overdoing it, kind of like the Nine of Pentacles in reverse, which is coming from a lack of vulnerability, because that's coming from fear, that's coming from a feeling of not feeling safe. And so that's kind of where this is coming from. And it's almost like just this overdoing it when it comes to affection, or it's like somebody who responds to you and then you like quadruple text, you know, or the feminine does. And it's coming from a feeling of not feeling chosen. It's coming from emotional instability. And definitely a sense of blaming the other person, and maybe the other person is to blame. But if we continue to allow ourselves to get hurt when the outcome is always the same, then there's something deeper going on. There's a lack of self-worth, Empress in reverse. There's a feeling like you have to overcompensate, Nine of Pentacles in reverse. And where does that come from? A lack of confidence, Strength in reverse. And where does that come from? Only you can answer that. The King of Pentacles. The Knight of Cups. Moon in reverse, Three of Swords in reverse, Seven of Pentacles in reverse. So for some of you, you're getting into your masculine energy, and you're kind of also getting into your creative juices, where you are maybe making money off of some kind of creative pursuit for some of you. And it's kind of being born through pain. And I think that some of the best pieces of poetry, or the best artistry, or the best music has been derived from pain. Now, keep in mind, I'm a Venus and Pluto and Scorpio conjunct my descendant, so I'm a little emo, okay? But I think that's at somebody's most absolutely vulnerable, you know, broken down into these little tiny shards, which calls for a rebirth. And then I'm thinking of the fireplace again. And it's this sense of, you know, the person that was looking in the fire, like almost like trying to get to that depth and reaching through the fire in order to get it, doing too much. Maybe you shouldn't have to reach through the fire to get that. I feel like the fire is within you, but you're looking elsewhere. If that's you, you know, the fire is in you, but you're reaching out for it, and you're getting burnt instead. The fire is what's going to melt that iceberg and make you feel whole again. So it's like, what's your fire? You know? What the fuck is your fire? Where do you get it from? Pain? Maybe. You know, I had somebody, this person was a Cancer, and they said, God, you're not your pain. You don't have to identify as your pain. And I said, well, maybe that's coming from somebody who hasn't experienced it as deeply as I have. And what do you mean? And I'm saying, well, no, I'm not my pain, but pain is kind of like this. You have a woman, for instance, and she's just a woman, right? And she doesn't have any children. She's just a single woman. And say that woman gets pregnant, right? And then does she become a mother then? Or she has the baby and then she's a mother, right? And regardless of what happens with that child, whether she's in the child's life, whether the child is with her at all times, whether the child dies, whatever it may be, she is never not a mother. It's something that she will always be, no matter what. And what I mean by that when it comes to pain is that when you're somebody who's been through so much of it, it really is a part of you. But you have to make it for the better. Through birth is pain. There's pain through birth, and look what comes out of it. Life. So what's your life? What's your fire? We have this Four of Pentacles. The Two of Pentacles. Okay. Okay. I feel like you're doing something new. You are creating something from pain. It seems like you're starting something new, putting in the effort towards some kind of information, taking action towards something. But you're not like, you don't feel challenged. Your ego isn't getting in the way. This is more of a, this is what I want. This is what I'm deciding. I'm saving money. I'm not taking a risk, but I'm taking a calculated risk about something. Can you explain more about this? The Five of Pentacles. For some of you, you're paying off debts. Okay. For others of you, you're deciding to hold back from a situation because you fear abandonment. And that's a whole other story that I'm not going to get into. But maybe I will. Maybe I'll make a separate video about it. Let's look at that Eight of Cups. Four Wands, Ace of Pentacles in reverse, King of Wands in reverse. Wow. The Hermit and the Hierophant, the Ace of Wands. Wow, isn't that beautiful? Star in reverse. There's definitely a little bit of a lack of hope, but I don't think you're going to let it stop you. I'm getting a little bit of melancholy here in the next couple of weeks. I'm not going to lie. Because right now it seems like you're trying to just like let go of something, right? Trying to act like the iceberg isn't there or whatever. But that's going to creep back up. And when we put things off like that, it will creep back up and we're going to have to deal with it. And so there's this sense of you getting a little melancholy and you being like, all right, well, this person has an ego, this person is a terrible leader. This person is just not a good person or a tyrant or whatever it may be. And it's like, you don't feel secure enough to create an opportunity with another person. You don't feel safe enough to do that. You don't feel welcomed. It's like there's somebody who's not making you feel welcomed and you're kind of like, okay, I can take the hint or I'll go where I'm wanted or, it's something to that degree. You are far more aware now. Ace of Wands, Hierophant, the Hermit, you're kind of going on this self-discovery mission, as it were. You're very inspiring. You're focused on your morals, your values, possibly education of some sort, educating yourself, saving money, figuring out who you really are, I love that your fellow Earth brothers or sisters are here. Virgo and Taurus. I do like that because I feel like it's a very supportive energy, almost like a tripod or like something holding you up, especially with that Ace of Wands there. And, I asked, like, where's your fire? And then the Hermit represents you. And the Hierophant talks about your belief system. So if we're putting all of this together, the fire is you believing in you. That's your fire. You don't need to reach anywhere else. Advice. Gemini, Earth, Chiron, House 7. That's what you got here. So it's interesting. Gemini is all about information, figuring things out, etc. This could be something about figuring out new ways to make money of some sort. Okay. Working with people, getting together with people that could heal some kind of relationship trauma that you have. But when it comes to, it may be actually financially beneficial for you. Okay. I feel like there's a lot of healing that you need to do around a specific relationship is what I'm wondering. And I'm not talking about like your boo right now or the person you're sad about. I think it goes further than that. And I'm saying that because I remember the tip of the iceberg that I thought was a mountain until I kind of panned out almost like a movie and saw that it was a fucking iceberg. And I was like, damn, Capricorn, you ain't fooling me, bitch. Like, and there's something to be said about that. And so I do feel like there's some kind of, wound around a old relationship, whether it's a father figure, mother figure, past, etc., whatever. House 1 in Mars. Didn't I say the fire is you? House 1 is you, yourself, you, nobody else. And Mars is fire. And so I feel like this is just solidifying everything that I'm saying. You have the fire. You don't need to sit on a couch and reach for it. It's inside of you. Capricorn, it was a pleasure. If you'd like to book with me, go to brattystarot.com. I do offer one-on-one Zoom calls, and I also offer pre-recorded readings. If this resonated with you, make sure that you comment in the comment section. I'd absolutely love to hear from you. Make sure that you subscribe and like the video and share this video if you would like other people to see it. It was an absolute pleasure, and I really hope this helps. And have a great night, day, whatever. Bye.